Hello everyone, this is Judith with another video. Yeah, we're looking into your twin flame journey, not so much into your union, but actually what is important to know along your path, what insights are coming through, what the spirit want to communicate to you. And yeah, we have messages today around self-limitation. As you know, like your blocks, the blocks that show up on your journey in your twin flame relationship, your twin flame union. Those are very often connected to a self-limitation that we have learned, right? We have learned to limit ourselves. And why? Because this was a coping mechanism. It was also like a survival mode, right? We could not afford really to show our true feelings. We could not like stand up for ourselves because we were like shut down. We were like shut up as well by our parents maybe. And we deep down we knew also maybe by the way that parents were treating each other that this was not accepted. And this was not only, in some cases it was not accepted, in other cases it was even dangerous, right? When you have domestic violence or whatever, when you deal with maybe parents that were drinking or whatever it was, or just a strict upbringing, or religious things that were playing a role. So there are many different reasons why this might have been a strict and harsh experience, or there might have been violent words, there might have been maybe even like physical violence or whatever in the family, maybe even against you, right? And so this is teaching us then that we better do not demand anything. We better do not even enjoy life, because also this can be a threat to aggressive people, to jealous people, to narcissistic people. So even our just being alive and joyful, which is our birthright and which is really the reason why we came here, and it comes natural to all of us. We very early on in some cases learned that this is not accepted. So, and here are some messages around this topic, right? The first message is, my every thought is attracting its vibrational essence. And the Hermit, the Holy King, it says here, and the Arrow. So this is all about going inwards, right? So going inwards to the extent that the arrow is like shooting out of you and pointing to your path, right? And your next action, or your next, yeah, it's like inspired action, right? With those cards, I'm not talking about action, but then out of this comes an action then. You're pointing in a certain direction, right? Already in your mind, you're already pointing in a certain direction. And really, you've taken on some of those things in order to learn or to remember, because you knew you would remember, to remember that you create the world, right? Well, we are always creating, right? But we are very often creating by default. So you were as a child and maybe shut down. You were like dimming everything to the extent of needed to get along, right? And then you meet your twin flame, and this ignites who you truly are. And this also requires you to let go of all of those coping mechanisms and all of those self-limitations, because it just cannot stay in your field energetically. It's just not, it's just a big block, right? So yeah, just to this self-limitation, when you were a child, this was serving you to maybe even to preserve yourself from harm, right? and you've created an inner world, a very rich inner world. You've created dreams. Maybe you've read a lot of books, or you've been listening or still listen to a lot of music, and in such a way you were dreaming the world. You were dreaming of a better world, right? As a result of this, because you could not find this on the outside. And by doing this, by dreaming, and then by suddenly realizing that you can to some extent create, you become enlightened, right? Or you're walking the path to enlightenment, where you know that that everything that you experience is a reflection of who you are, of who, not of who you are, but what your current point of attraction is, right? It's always now, now, now. This arrow is speaking to me also about this now moment, right? That the only truth, the only reality that we have is this now. Everything that we see is old news, basically. We have already created that with our dreams, our emotions, our thoughts. But the now moment, that is what we are projecting in the future. That is what we are creating. So this is what you find out, right? And now you it's beneficial to go inward more fully and to clean up everything, right? Until it's nice, tidy, bright, sunny, green grass, blue sky, everything fine, right? Of course, this will never like be only sunshine, because we are like creating also from contrast. So the contrast that we experience is wanted, right? But it's never meant for us to stay there. So that's a big mistake along the twin flame journey, like to stay in the not having of this, and then focusing on everything that does not feel good, right? So yeah, jumping off of this and creating and being in the now moment, in this hot spot here, right? This red hot minute, right? That's where we want to be, and that's where we want to create, and that's where we want to find the most bliss, the most joy, or at least the next better feeling emotion, the next better feeling thought, right? So that's those self-limitations, right? They are not meant for us to stay here, but they are just giving us the opportunity to create what we really desire. So welcome those limitations, and bounce off of them, right? Align with what you have created by those limitations. This limitation was you could not show your true self, right? You could not show the outside world who you truly are, not demand anything, not show up as your true joyful and vital self. Next message that we have is, others' opinions are less important than my personal guidance system. The Fool, which is the green man here, and Luminous Warrior. Yeah, so the Luminous Warrior would never give away his power, right? He's like not dependent on what other people think of him. He's always ready to take a leap of faith and to align with what he wants, with his self-love. He would not trade this, right? And basically that's what we are doing because of how the way our society works. That we have look at all those hands, right? Then we have to trade something. We have learned that it's good to have people around that are feeling satisfied with us, right? So it's about opinions and about judgment, other people judging us, and then this is a big block along the road, because we want to take a leap, right? We want to jump and be who we truly are. This is all talking about joy and freedom, right? Basically, we want to be free because we are born free, and freedom is our birthright. Let me look quickly what it says in the little book about the luminous warrior. Give me a second. I'm gonna read that to you. That's the number 32. The luminous warrior. The luminous warrior has no enemies in this world or the next. He's impeccable in word and deed. He focuses on his light rather than on what hides in the dark. Since he casts no shadow, he is as radiant as the sun and can transform his most terrible enemy into his ally. His power comes not from the sword, but from speaking his truth at all costs. Yeah, so he is like focusing on light rather than dark. Why? Because he knows that he creates good from that. He created from this deciding to focus on your light, good is going to come. From dimming your light and not focusing on joy, not focusing on expansion, not focusing on creativity, nothing good is coming from that. Only control, right? And this world is really suffering from control. And for sure, you cannot control a twin flame relationship. Not going to work. It works only by aligning with that vibration and never with controlling, right? We've all tried this to some extent, and we have learned that there is no way with things that we've maybe tried in other relationships to get to know someone closer, or our twin flame would only like be in our 3D world, would only show up in our 3D world if we're like aligning really with that vibration. There can be some bumpy blocks in the road, really. Yeah, so this is what you want to strive, right? And it also helps to see that every day is a fresh new beginning, right? You don't have to carry around all the luggage from the past. It's sometimes that we think we are like made, that's who we are, but that's not who we are, right? And it scares us sometimes to let go of that, because then who are we then? Yeah, we're our soul's essence, and we are this into all eternity. There's nothing wrong with that. So we are not like bound by anything that is maybe tradition in our family. We're not bound by anything that other people think about us. We're not bound by anything really, but sometimes it's hard to let that go, because it's a very dense vibration within our field, and other people, we are like we are like in relationships with a lot of people, right? With family members, friends, neighbors, with so many influences. Even what we watch on the TV or on the internet, everything is like we make a web out of all of this, right? It all contributes to our vibration. So we have to be very careful what we watch and what people we let into our lives, yeah, that's then of course keeps those unhealthy or sometimes even toxic patterns trapped in our field, in our system, right? So that's some work to free those trapped emotions, those trapped energies. This is something that I can really help you quick. I do this very quickly, very easily, because we do not this doesn't need to take long, right? Once we identify what the energy is, then we can release it quickly. And of course, then by the time you can also do this on your own, but I know from my own experience that you have to be fairly steady in a high vibration in order to do that. But experiment with methods, or yeah, you can, if you have worked with me, you have some things on your hands, so try to apply this on your own, right? And for those who haven't worked with me, you can also apply via email. Find the email address in the description box for a 15-minute free spot to find out if this would be a fit for you. Yeah, and also send me an email if you are interested in my offers, right? So, yeah, you want to be in this place, right, of the luminous warrior, who is a warrior without a sword. So it's not about aggression or control or domineering other people in any way, but it's just by radiating your light that you become so contagious to other people. they're just singing and dancing along, right? That's the way that this is working. And that's also the way, that's the twin flame way, right? That we want to be contagious with our vibration, and we want to be like irresistible for other people to join us on this path. And of course, this is also for our twin flame, right? We both, I mean, both sides, we want the other one to be irresistible to us, right? We're not interested in being bound in a commitment that is maybe no longer working, right? That's not what we want from a relationship. We really want to be there with someone who likes to expand just as we do. Someone who has come to the conclusion by diving deep that life itself is expansion, and we want to create with someone who is aware of this point of attraction in the now moment, right? That's what we want. We do not want a commitment that is then like for the commitment that we have with our twin flame is for all eternity, so we don't have to worry about that. So let's go back to self-limitations. What do we have here? By my attention to things, I am making choices. The Two of Chelses and many paths. Yeah, this is our engaging with the 3D world, right? With the material world. It's the twin flame path is really very much that in other spiritual paths you would maybe have been told that it's not good to be in a relationship, you only have to focus on the divine, it's not appropriate for you to have many things, it's like required to live like in a very how do you say that, ascetic life. But really what we want to understand now, and of course we understand as well that it's important to go inward, right? That's what we totally understand. But this is a spiritual path that we do together with our twin flame. It's both of us who are like moving forward along this spiritual path, and has a lot to do with redefining this romantic relationship, right? And bringing it back to what it really is, to the magic of what this really is, and the unconditional love. We want to be unconditional lovers. We want to love this moment, right? We want to love everything that we experience in this moment, because we know that this is serving us to some degree, right? Whether it's something that we desire and want that's shooting here. It's always something that we want that is shooting here, but sometimes we are also like experiencing contrast. Yeah, and this contrast is beneficial because it's leading to other things. So this is the only way that expansion works. And we want to expand because we have done this lifetime after lifetime. We are already very experienced in this. So it's not about learning so much, but it's about unlearning certain things, right? Clearing the field from some energies that we that are no longer serving us, and then also being reminded more of who we truly are, right? And many paths, this card is talking about choosing the path that aligns with your heart. I've discovered lately that the heart, the heart space is the heart space, right? And it's we meet our twin flame in our heart space. We meet the divine, we meet our higher self in the heart space. But what's very often very damaged when it comes to twin flames, it's the solar plexus. And so this is underneath here, and so we cannot move up into the heart. The energy cannot move up into the heart when the solar plexus is dysfunctional, right? Either like over functioning or under functioning. Both is possible, and both is like not balanced, and both is like kind of blocking the energy, right? So that's for you to ponder and see if you have something that needs to be done at the level of the solar plexus. Yeah, but this is limiting ourselves when it comes to our love relationships. It's misunderstanding material things also, right? Like we tend to focus a lot on what we have, right? All those things, when really what we want to, what our true bliss, our true joy comes from relationships, and most and foremost from the relationship with ourselves, which is the relationship with our twin flame. And this is why if we do not have a good relationship with ourselves, then the twin cannot be with us, right? And vice versa. And also the relationship that we have with the divine, right? And everything around us comes from this, and everything around us we are like asked, and we are very welcome to enjoy all of those things. Nothing is really bad, right? I'm not telling that nothing is bad. That's maybe how Source sees things, and of course we have wanted and unwanted, right? I like that better, wanted and unwanted than good or bad. But there are like the things that we want, really, that we desire, we can have them, right? And we have to be aware that it's not really the things that we want. But why do we want a certain thing, a material object? Why do we want that? Because it gives us a certain feeling. It maybe gives us a certain value or whatever. And that's what we want. And we want to be aware of that this is what we really want. And then this lessens the objects that we want to have. But there is nothing wrong, right, with wanting things, and we want them for a reason, and it's all right to want them, and it's all right to have them. Just as your twin flame relationship, it's all right to want that, to desire that, and it's all right to have that, right? It's your birthright to align with that. This is who you are meant to be, really, and who you are meant to be with. So from the many paths, you want to choose the one that aligns with your heart. And very often we have wounded hearts, right? Sometimes our hearts have been broken already in childhood. So yeah, that's the reason why we have some resistance going on in those areas. and want to have a look at that, right? And heal our hearts and align with our beautiful unions. So those were the messages that came through for today. Have a wonderful day, everyone, and thank you so much for being here. I see you in the next video. Bye for now, everyone. Bye.